Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled BMW Just Desserts. Now, as you probably know, I record these in batches. This is the fifth one I'm doing today, and this is going to do it for the day. My voice has had it, it's shot. So, anyway, you're just going to have to deal with it. Back in my days at Tiny Middle, when I was in sales, this would bring us 2002 to 2007, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. Call it 2005-ish. I had Old Clanky. Worked with a guy named Ronnie. Now, Ronnie was, I think he was Italian. Ronnie was one of those kids that he tried to fit in with the cool kids, but he couldn't quite. But he tried his hardest. So he had cool shoes, and he had a cool car, and this, that, and the third, and he tried to fit in, but he just never did. And he was a prick. He was just like an annoying prick. I don't know how else to really explain it. One time I was there, and at this point, because I was in sales, we had to do inventory. Now, inventory sucked. We had an inventory company come in by the name of Regis, RGIS. You may have seen them. But we had to recount what they counted to verify that they counted correctly. So I never really understood that because if you're paying this company to accurately count your merchandise and they can't even count it accurately. But all stores did this. They always had the employees work there during the overnight. And anyway, I was stuck doing inventory. It was part of the job. So I did it. And finally, it's like 1:30, 2 in the morning, we're let out. Finally all done. There are lights in the parking lot at Tiny Middle, but they are on a timer, as you might expect. Now, they're not a dusk to dawn kind of thing. And whoever set these up, I don't know. I don't know what the times were. But they went off some point after we closed up for the night. We closed at 9. Everybody was typically out by 11. Long story. The lights stayed on because I remember coming out back when I had to work the night shift or the late shift, and those lights were still on, but by 2 in the morning these things were out. So we come out to the parking lot finally, and it's pitch black out there. It's so dark that I have a little story about that, side story. My cousin earlier in that decade had worked for Best Bitch, and he got stuck doing inventory also. And he went out the door with everybody else, and somebody who came out right along with that crowd was someone in a dark blouse. And he had commented and said, "Man, it's so dark out here." So somebody else said, "Dude, just smile." I thought that was awesome when my cousin told me that, but anyway, that's what went on. Anyway, we go out. It's dark. It's really dark. Now, some people got out the door before me, so a couple of cars were already started up and had headlights on. And you typically, I think it was cold out, so you kind of bullshit a little bit. It was still like the nights were chilly, but it was getting warmer-ish during the day. I don't remember when this was. I had come in and I had parked my car not in its normal spot because I had to come late in the day for some reason. I don't remember exactly what the details were. It was always on a weekend, I think on a Sunday, and I would always work Sundays. But instead, they decided that I was going to do inventory that day instead, and they can't have me work the whole day and then do inventory, because then they're going to have to pay overtime, and that's a big no-no. So they had me come in later. Well, being that it's a Sunday and all the big fat dumb American consumers are out, because they don't close the store for this, they start counting while customers are in the store, which never made any sense, because then you're going to have wrong counts. Although theoretically that's not supposed to happen, because it's deducted from the inventory in the system when somebody buys it. So if they pick something up, it'll be accounted for if it's paid for, which wasn't often. All right, more often than not. But anyway, it was something like that. Anywho, we come outside, and Ronnie ran out the door ahead of me. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And Ronnie hopped into his, what else? BMW. We all know about BMW drivers and how they're assholes. Ronnie was not only an annoying prick, but also a BMW driver. Basically a recipe for disaster. So there wasn't much light. I get that. I had parked, normally I parked one row in and away from the building. But I couldn't because it was a Sunday, so my spot was taken by some big fat dumb American consumer. So I parked at the end of the lot, the edge of it, right there. And I backed in the spot. So there I am, everything's good, and that's fine. Ronnie happened to park in the spot directly adjacent to that in the next row. He had to back out of the spot. He had his windows down because that's the cool thing to do. He didn't have any music on. And I'm walking, and I need to go to my car, so I had to go past him to get to the driver's door of my car. And in doing so, that means I had to walk behind his car. Well, he's got it in reverse. Now, you don't just pop it in reverse and let off the brake and you're just off, you know. You kind of stay on the brake a bit, because you never know. You might have to stop. Some dick in a BMW might be... That's what we're talking about. So Ronnie's backing up. So he's got not only his reverse lights on, and yeah, we didn't have LED reverse lights in the day, and the brake lights are on also, because I saw that. So Ronnie's backing up, and he stopped, and he's yelling out the window to somebody else. So I'm like, good, I have a chance to go. So I start to go and walk between the cars, and he continues to back up, and I said, whoa, hold on! Stop! He didn't almost hit me, but it was like, dude, I'm walking behind your car. You saw me, because he saw me walking, and he knew where I was going. So it was your typical BMW driver. So he's backing up, and then he stopped, and he's yelling to the guy out the window. He goes to go again. I'm walking. So now I almost get pinned between the two cars. Now there was room, okay, but it was getting tight. So I made it out of that alive. And would you know that this prick continued to yell out the window and let off the brake slightly, and he actually backed into Old Clanky? I shit you not. Now, this was a love tap, okay? There was nothing that happened from it. But I was fucking pissed. And he got out of the car, and he's like, oh, my precious BMW, you know, this and that. I said, no, you owe me, buddy. You backed into me. I said, what the fuck? Don't you look behind you? We didn't have backup cameras in these days. Don't you look the fuck behind you, or at least look in the goddamn rearview mirror? You almost fucking run me over, and then you hit my car? Well, you know what he does. throws that shit in drive and squeals the tires and gets the fuck out of Dodge. Not like I'm not going to see him again the next day, asshole, but typical for a BMW driver. Anyway, no damage occurred. But anyways, time went on, and time went on, and time went on for another week or so, 2 weeks, and we have these online training courses we have to do. Ronnie's a Dummkopfen, which is, I think, mock German for shithead. Shit for brains, basically. He doesn't care. He's not there to do these things. But I happen to be in there taking mine. And I got done with mine. And Ronnie's like, dude, can you do mine? I said, well, not really. He said, I'll give you $10. I said, well, you owe me a lot more for almost running me down and backing into my car. No, man, come on. Nothing happened. I'll give you $10. Don't worry about it. I said, all right, but you got to stay here and you got to keep guard because if a manager comes by, I can't be caught doing this. And besides, I was going to make $10, right? I knew all the answers because I just did mine, so it's just click, 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 and it's done, you know. But it takes a minute still to get through everything and go and do it. So I said, all right. So he kept guard and that. He's like, give me my $10. Oh, shit, man, I'm a little short. I'll get it to you, man. I'll get it to you. Well, you know what happened with that. I got the short end of the stick, of course. But, like the title says, BMW just desserts. Another week or two goes by. It's raining. He gets on the parkway, the highway, the interstate, the freeway, whatever you call them. We call them parkways here. And he's doing his typical BMW moves in the rain, 110 miles an hour, cutting fucking everybody off, and finally veers off and totals his BMW. So we all heard about it. I didn't hear the whole story of that, but obviously he was being a dick on the road, and he got his just desserts, and that was the end of his precious little BMW. Probably until Mommy and Daddy bought him another. I don't know what happened to him, what happened with his car situation, anything. But a couple days went by, and I said, oh, Ronnie, how you doing? Yeah, what's up? You still owe me $10. Dude, I don't even have a car now. I said, it's all right. Don't worry about the $10. So there are the just desserts. Finally, for once, it worked out. It worked out, and they got the karma they were due. Anyway, that is going to wrap this one up. I thank you very kindly for watching, and I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.